Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the English News Edition brought to you live from RTD channel. The headlines for tonight are: the head of state, Ismail Margelle, today received Michael Keating, the United Nations Special Representative of the Secretary General for Somalia, and strengthening the means of exploration of geothermal energy. And on the international scene concerning U.S.-North Korea historic summit, Donald Trump and Kim Jong-un arrive in Singapore. President Gille met today with the UN Special Representative of the Secretary General for Somalia. The head of state, Ismail Margelle, today received Michael Keating, the United Nations Special Representative of the Secretary General for Somalia. The latter arrived in Djibouti at the head of a UN delegation. During this meeting, the Special Envoy for Somalia, Michael Keating, briefed the head of state on the current situation in Somalia. He referred to the effort being made by the current Somali government to achieve a full self-reliance, including the mobilization of adequate technical as well financial capacities. He also spoke of a current as well a coordinated approach that the Somali authorities are trying to put in place to build a strong nation. Michael Keating was met with UNDP representative Barbara Anansi and several other UN experts also attending the meeting. The Foreign Affairs Minister Mohammed Ali Yusuf, Djibouti's ambassador to Somalia Aden Hassan. Michael Keating, Special Representative of the Secretary General for Somalia, briefs journalists after the meeting he had with the President on the current situation in that country. Let's hear it more.
I've just met with the President and with the Foreign Minister. I thank the President for the role that Djibouti is playing in the stability of Somalia. The role of the Djibouti forces is very important as a member of AMISOM. And of course, Djibouti and the President personally are greatly respected by all Somalis. And so we discussed how Somalia is doing, the progress it's making, and the challenges it continues to face.
And on his side, the Djibouti's Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation, Mohammed Ali Yusuf, told to the media, say that the two sides discussed the outstanding partnership that exists between Djibouti and the United Nations. He stressed then on the efforts of the government of Djibouti in the peacekeeping mission in Somalia. As we know, he said that Djibouti is part of the AMISOM force contingent in Somalia. The Djibouti Foreign Affairs Minister gave an update also on the content of the discussion and the topic on the agenda. He immediately stated that the sacrifice and effort made reciprocally whenever circumstances demanded is a proof of interdependence and secular links, adding that the Djiboutian peoples first. The head of state, Ismail Margelle, will always remain on the side of the Somali brother people and the Somali state to support the process of stabilization and reconstruction of these brother country. And still with the national news, the head of state, Ismail Margelle, addressed today, Sunday, a message of congratulations to his Russian counterpart, Vladimir Putin, whose country celebrates the anniversary of his National Day. In his message, the head of state expressed wishes of health and happiness to President Putin, as well as more development and prosperity to the Russian people. The government, as well the people of Djibouti, joining me in wishing more economic development, well-being and fulfillment for the whole nation of Russia, wrote President Gille, who also held a relation of friendship as well cooperation between the two countries. And still with the national news, the National Assembly held this morning the regular meeting of the Parliament of the 8th parliamentary term this morning. The session was chaired by the President of the National Assembly, Mohammed Ali Mohammed. The Prime Minister, as well all members of the government, were also present. The agenda focused on the discussion as well the adoption of 13 bills, including the draft adoption of the accounts of the printing press for 2015 and the project of accession and ratification of the status of the African Fund. The parliamentarians also discussed the draft code of work and code of ethics of public officials. They also discussed the project of the International Solar Alliance and the project of creation of the Real Estate and Land Development Company, as well the project of the agenda of urban rehabilitation, as well as social housing known as Arulo. Several other projects were also on the agenda, namely the ratification of the loan agreement with the Kuwaiti Fund and the ratification of the agreement on the encouragement and reciprocal protection of investment between Djibouti and Turkey, and the creation of entrepreneurship center and leadership in the Republic of Djibouti. In other news, an update on the entire Djibouti-Japan relationship took place today. The Djibouti-Japan meeting was held at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. It was co-chaired by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation, Mohamed Ali Yusuf, and the Ambassador of Japan to Djibouti, Koji Unitani. This is the sixth meeting of its kind. This dialogue provides an update on all aspects of bilateral cooperation and economic partnership. Japan provides substantial support to Djibouti to build its development on a solid foundation. In addition to the officials of the Department of Foreign Affairs also took part in this meeting, the Secretary General of Transport, Nuh, the Commander of the Coast Guard, Colonel Wais Omar Bokori, as well the Director of the Maritime Affairs, Ali Mirah Shehm. The Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation, Mohamed Ali Yusuf, has welcomed the partnership established with Japan. He said it is a symbol of a last long and healthy relationship between the two countries, Djibouti and Japan. The country is intensifying its technical means of geothermal exploration. After Galalokoma, Djibouti will launch a series of 3 drillings at Fiale in the northern part of the Assal area. To do so, Djibouti has called on an Icelandic company financed by the AFD as well the World Bank to launch this new drilling project, the equipment of which the main drill arrived at the port of Djibouti and will be conveyed on the site of Fiale. This is a special drill designed to cope with all temperatures and drill very deep and directional. For the Energy Minister Yunis Ali Agedi, the arrival of this drill marks the intensification of the geothermal exploration of the Republic of Djibouti. The Energy Minister said that the geothermal program of Djibouti is the second phase of the development program initiated by the head of state. The first phase is the realization of major project like port, airport and railway line. The second phase, the geothermal energy, was the second phase of this development plan. In other words, the production of green energy at a low price and in sufficient quantity, which allows the installation in Djibouti processing industry in large free zones, added the minister. It is in this sense that geothermal energy, said the minister, is a very important step in the development of Djibouti for both to the population as well to the industry development. The network of Association of Neighborhood 6 offered this Saturday, June 9, new clothes of Eid al-Fitr to 100 orphans and destitute children of Neighborhood 6. And of this project is that the orphan children were sent to the store and choose clothing according to their wishes to be dressed on the occasion of this festival. Neighborhood 6 dresses its orphans is the title of this solidarity action organized by the Neighborhood 6 Association, composed of the members of the diaspora and resident members in Djibouti, all native of this neighborhood. This unprecedented event saw the participation of the president of the municipality of Bulaus, Mohamed Omar Ismail, the district chief Saada Ahmed, the elected officials of the district, the all and wives of the and women of the district, and not to mention the presence following active members of the association of this network. After the opening of the ceremony by reading the Holy Quran, the speeches follow one another in the gallery, and on these the project manager dressed Anglais, the orphan Sultan Aden Waberi of the neighborhood 6 expressed his joy and his satisfaction for the success of this project. I did not fail to thank all members of the association and all the people who took part in this act of generosity. Finally, it was the ceremony of handing over the clothes to the orphan and to children, followed by the delivery of the clothes to the mothers of the precarious homes. We could not measure the joy of the beneficiaries who left with a smile on their faces. And still in social, the leaders of the Popular Ally Party of Neighborhood 3 and 7 have distributed 100 new orphans or children from low-income families. The ceremony was presided over by the party Dean Ali Abdi Farah, member of the executive committee. He was surrounded by the State Secretary for Housing, Amina Abdi Aden, MP Safia Elmi Jibril, and several other parliamentarians. This meeting with activists and supporters of the oldest party in the country ended with the distribution of new clothes to orphan and disadvantaged children, as our Islamic tradition always wanted. 2 days ago, the Dakhil Regional Council hosted a workshop on the issue of water in the regions, and especially in the regions of the unit. The workshop was attended by representatives of the NGO SOS Sahel and the local Caravan Development Association known as Dad Al Arho. SOS Sahel, in close collaboration with the local NGO Dad Al Arho, has launched a project in the Kalamo area to fight thirst. It has also organized on-site and off-site training to build the capacity of local water stakeholders. The workshop was chaired by the chairman of the Regional Council, Abdurrahman Yuri Sarre, in the presence of local elected officials, including Ebo Mohammed. And as part of its community care policy, the Ministry of Health organized a regular mobile team and outing to the most remote communities in the country. The mobile team of the SMH Tajura, led by the chief medical officers of the health region, Hassan Mohammed Hassan, and consisting of a nurse, midwife, a vaccination officer, and a nutritionist, carried out an exit in the town of Gabatisan, located 120 kilometers from Tajura city. The team welcomes the very satisfactory result of this policy. We note that all children under the age of 5 have 100% vaccination coverage, taking inadequate nutrition and regular follow-up for women in breastfeeding, as well as people suffering from chronic disease such as diabetes and hypertension. Let's get into the continental news now. Ethiopia's Prime Minister has held bilateral talks with his Egyptian counterpart, securing the release of Ethiopian prisoners held in the North African nation. Abiy Ahmed Ali, who is in Egypt for a 2-day state visit, held a meeting with President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi, and the two leaders agreed to elevate their countries' relationship to a strategic level of mutual cooperation and support. The two countries, together with Sudan, recently agreed to create, let's recall, a scientific committee dedicated to the Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam. And as I mentioned in the headlines, President Donald Trump and North Korea leader Kim Jong-un, a historic meeting will begin with a one-on-one encounter, and White House officials confirmed to reporters in Singapore on Monday. The official declined to say how long the first meeting is expected to last, but said it will take place prior to an impending meeting where U.S. as well as North Korea officials will be in attendance. So that's it for the news. Thanks for your attention.